So these are some of the things that you should be looking out for ahead of these matches against Honduras in the CONCACAF Nations League. Starting with the keeper spot, don't really want to talk about it too much because don't want to get my hopes on too much because it's going to be Memo Ochoa. Moving on to the defense. For the past couple games, Jaime Lozano has been playing the fullbacks in Jorge Sanchez and then Jesus Gallardo. But as of recent, Jorge Sanchez has been struggling to maintain minutes as he has only been able to play one full 90 minutes game at FC Porto ever since arriving this September. So does Jimmy include either Gerardo Arteaga or Julian Araujo? Moving on to the midfield. The midfield, in my opinion, is the best part of this team. If you're looking at the roster, the consistency of the players in this position is through the roof right now, at least comparing it to the other parts of the roster. And we have talent spread out throughout the entire midfield, but what I think would be the best midfield for Mexico would consist of Luis Chavez, new player with the Dynamo Moscow, and after arriving only 5 games ago, Luis Chavez has bagged himself 2 goals within the last 5 games in his new European chapter for his career. Next, we have Orbelin Pineda, which would be media punta or the attacking midfielder in my book. Is another Mexican midfielder that has been succeeding in Europe, being coached by former Chivas coach Matias Almeida. Orbelin Pineda has been able to find his place with his Greek side, but in my opinion his most key asset is his explosiveness and how that can affect lines of defense when it comes to the attack. And then finally, in my opinion, our best player in this roster, Edson Alvarez. This guy deserves so much props. Watching him competing in the Premier League week in, week out. West Ham, number 19. He's used to playing a midfield partnership in West Ham with either Ward-Prowse or Souček, whoever's in the midfield with him that day. And with that kind of play developed, he would be a perfect partner with Luis Chavez in the midfield, with Orbelin breaking the lines of defense, making room for the attackers, which is next, which we actually have several stories going on. Miss Julian Quiñones, there was a couple of rumors saying that he wanted to play for La Selección, he needed to get the right paperwork done, and now it's finally happening, and now he is finally in the roster. Does Jimmy Lozano start him as a winger for these upcoming matches, or does he go with the alternative option, players that have already played for La Selección? In Unir Altuna, Cesar Huerta. And then another Mexican in form, Chucky Lozano, was back on his playing form for PSV and has been scoring and assisting week in, week out for the Dutch side. And then last but not least, the absolute man of the hour, Santi Giménez. There's been rumors of him going to Spurs, of him being interested from Barcelona or Real Madrid. In this era of striker drought, Santi Giménez is very valuable, and we get to have him ourselves as a starting striker for La Selección. But that's what he needs. He needs a breakthrough moment to be that starting striker for La Selección. He's had his Gold Cup moment, the moment of brilliance, the moment that brought Mexico the Gold Cup. But he needs that breakthrough moment to cement his feet in this roster and start brewing him for these upcoming World Cups that are going to be hosted in home territory. Will these next matches be the chance he needs to cement himself as a starting striker para el Tri? And soon after, he can start banging in goals for club and country. So again,